What's up? It's the show. We get it's like life and it's one for me. I guess it's a talk show. That's what it became. Last episode, we talked and painfully dove into my relationship with women. This episode, we're gonna do a complete 180 and talk about philosophy. Now, I would consider myself a absurdist, um, or if you're not edgy enough, passive nihilist, which is like more or less the same thing. I guess it's there's a slight difference in like definitions between the two, which is really what any of this comes down to is your own definition. But let's just hop into it. Welcome. Uh, so the way I would describe it, a philosophy is it's like a puzzle, just like a lot of things in life. You gotta approach it at different angles. You gotta think about it. You gotta take your time with it. You gotta, and then you put it all together, and then hopefully you see a bigger picture. You know what I mean? Um, but like I said, my current philosophy, as of this script, which I don't have a script, is absurdism, which basically you have three options. Two bad, no options, no options. The two bad options are both suicide. This is like rationality. The suicide of rationality, is what I call it. Like suicide of like not using logic, basically. Which one thing about logic is you can just like you can logic out pretty much a lot of things. What seems reasonable to me might not seem reasonable to you, which is completely fair. We all come from different understandings of how the world works, and I'm not here to say that my understanding is any better than yours. I just personally, this is what I think as far as philosophy goes. But anyways, suicide, and I call it embracing it. Might not be the best word. Previously, I would have said accepting it, which is different than embracing it. Accepting it versus fighting against it. It's again, it really like I've asked questions on the internet, and it really just comes down to the definition. But I'm just gonna use embrace it for now. So, you have suicide rationality, which the most common would be faith-based beliefs, and then embracing it, which is, I mean, like Albert Camus said, the only real question is the question of suicide. And I've done my own personal reflection, and with this philosophy I'm trying to adopt, physical suicide is not for me. I've been that low. I thought about it, and let me yeah, okay, but it's just, I know it's what you can't experience life if you don't have it, and you die anyways. I'm gonna die one day. So just might as well live until I die. And then I asked the question. This is all pulled for my server. I'm just reading and summarizing right now. I beg the question if faith can be rational. And my current conclusion is indecisive, which I've been led different ways on that, in different directions, and I've talked to different people. Some people said faith isn't rational; it's the absence of rationale, and that you can't rationalize God. or faith. And I've heard that, again, this approach is that there's you take that leap of faith, I guess. You can't rationalize it, and maybe it's scary, maybe it's not. But you know, it's not like I'm not trying on my part. I feel like I'm equally trying to take that leap of faith. I mean, I took it once. I can take it again. I'm not worried about that. I just don't know the process of getting there. And then I ended on a reiteration of the three options. Such as death of rationality, such as completely. See, this definition is completely embracing a religion or a spiritual framework, because it's too hard, too sad, or too difficult without one. And I'm paraphrasing that; it's different on screen, but I'm not completely. I don't feel like I'm completely embracing a religion. But I'm not embracing it because it's too hard or too difficult without one. You know, I've survived this long without completely. I mean, there was a short hiatus, but I can't tell you what happened. You know, life just beat me up, and I just stopped. I didn't stop searching. I'm not saying that. But I just stopped. I just couldn't continue to take that leap into something that just doesn't make sense. And that's the idea. I get that. I understand it's not supposed to make sense. Because we aren't God. But it's just that human nature, human desire to, which is part of the absurd. We seek, and we don't always get an answer. Supposedly to get an answer from God, I have to work first and play later type deal. And I can respect that. You know, that's I just can't give that play later attitude because I can't commit myself to just taking a leap of faith. Again, I have, but then I just can't go back to that mindset. And back then, I was talking, and I used and I used a phrase, and you can go back and see this. I said I used reverse psychology, which basically what I meant by that is I told myself that it was real. You know, I just kept affirming it, and eventually, you know, after going to church and after talking about it, and after having a I don't know what to call it, like a down point, I guess. You know, like you probably know the story. You know, I was arrested or in handcuffs. I was in handcuffs. I wasn't actually arrested that night. I was in handcuffs. But it's the first time I genuinely got on my knees, and prayed, and it was new, and I felt I remember feeling relief from it because I just remember feeling like it wasn't like the situation wasn't in my hands anymore. It wasn't up to me at that point. It was just, it wasn't up to me. It was, it wasn't my, whatever happened type deal. You know, and I think in that short moment, what happened, was I came to peace with, that situation. And You know, because nobody wants to go to jail unless you're. I don't even know, but I've heard some story online about someone being like, "Oh, jail was a good time to reflect," But let's actually make this a two-parter. So the next part for my next week. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe.